Good evening, everyone. Happy Monday. It's your boy Kevin Thornton. You have tuned in to the Wellness Architect Show. Today is Monday, April 22nd, 2019. On this bright and warm Monday evening in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm super duper excited about today's guest. We have been talking for the past couple of minutes before the show started, and so I said I had to stop talking to you because you know it's gonna mess up the show. But before I introduce you to my guest, I want to thank everybody for all the support, the continued support buying the book 20 Beautiful Men. I truly appreciate it. I'm about to finish doing my interview. I've been interviewing for a magazine cover for a magazine based out of North Carolina.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. And I met with a friend, and I'm almost at the point where I'm going to start back teaching spin classes again, but I'm going to do a little bit different. So one of my first main events that I'm trying to do for spin is I'm going to come back to the D. I'm going to come to Detroit, and I'm going to try to do, I'm going to do a spin class. I'm trying to get a facility as we speak. So as I find out more information, I will let the folks in Detroit know. So all my Black alumni from EMU, all my friends and family, come on out and support your boy. Without further ado, I have a young lady who is an author.
Yes.
She's a rapper. She's an actress. She has her own YouTube channel. A world traveler. And she's just doing a lot of big things. And just in talking to her in the short time that we've been talking face to face, she has motivated me to do more and be more. And I think I'm doing a lot as it is, but you know, it's like she just let me know it's more I could do. So with that being said, I want to introduce Miss Erika Land, is also known as the Lyrical Lunatic.
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Can
I'm
you
excited
tell
to be
everybody
here.
who you are, what you do, and how you get to this point right here, right now?
Well, I am Erika Renee Land. I'm a veteran, an Army veteran, and after I got out of the military, I just started writing, and that writing has led me to being a poet, motivational speaker, a rapper. It's led to me being on a TV show and commercials. It's led me to write a stage play, which we're going to start touring at the end of the year, starting in October.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, thank
you. Okay, so you went to the Army, and you got discharged due to PTSD, correct?
Correct. Yes.
So can you tell people what PTSD is and how that caused you to have to be discharged?
So PTSD is a anxiety disorder, and it can cause a lot of like heightened emotions in people that when you normally feel an emotion, it'll be over within a couple of seconds. Well, post-traumatic stress disorder amplifies that like times a million. So whereas you may be scared for a moment, someone with PTSD, if they get scared, they may not be able to come out of it. They may be hypervigilant, where they're just always watchful of what's going around, or think something terrible might happen again, or they have a lot of re-experiencing whatever caused that situation. Like for me, it had to do with me being deployed to Mosul, Iraq with the Army. But there are people who experience like hurricanes, like Katrina. People who are in Katrina, a lot of them have post-traumatic stress disorder,
Right.
Because of all the mental angst that caused. It can be caused from sexual abuse, seeing someone pass away in front of you tragically,
Right.
All of those things where you just relive it and you can't come out of it, and it causes all of these other problems in your life.
So once you got discharged, you went to see a therapist, but you end up doing writing therapy.
Correct.
So what exactly is that?
So when I got out of the military, I didn't know what was going on with me. PTSD had been floated around, but once I was out of the military and out of that controlled situation, then things like just started going haywire. All the time, it was just a chaotic life that I was living because I wasn't able to express myself. And then I was introduced to writing poetry while at UGA. And so I was able to kind of write my feelings out. And at the same time, I was going to see a therapist with Veteran Affairs to try to help me get this stuff out, but I wasn't able to say it verbally to people. And so once I started writing and then going with the therapy, they found a way to couple that for me. And so I did a lot of writing therapy and art therapy.
Wow. Okay. That's different. I never even heard of that. So until I read your stuff, and so what exactly is war poet?
So it's just people who write poetry about the war. Some people have experienced it, and some people, write about it vicariously. But I was introduced to a gentleman from Scotland, and he's a 20th century war poet, so he's passed away now. But he was writing about his experiences in World War I. And so when I read that, it really spoke to me, and I was like, well, maybe I can express myself the same way. And so I just played with that a little bit, and then I found myself in a really low moment where I don't know if I was writing a last letter or what it was going to be, but I just started writing, and a poem came out. And that poem was titled War Songs. And that was the first expression of me getting some of the things that were in my head out.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. So poetry. So now have you published any of your books into poetry?
Yes. I have currently 5 books published. I have 2 fiction novels and 2 poetry books. The first one is called Residual Effects. And so it's just like all the residual things that happened that led to this project and how the war changed us. It's not with the E, it's with the A.
Okay.
Of how my mental state was changed by the war. And it's actually a project that is coupled with another veteran who was deployed with me, my friend Katisha Smittick. She did the photography. And so in that book, it's my poems matched with her photography. And I guess maybe because we were deployed together, and we both chose a path of art, it just matched up beautifully.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
In the second poetry book, Georgia's Dam, all of the poetry was actually written here in Georgia, either in Dahlonega, Athens, or Macon. And so it's called Georgia's Dam, because it was like a safe place for me to get out all of those things. I would travel to those different places and write.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's cool. So you got 5 books.
Yes.
Where can they get those books at?
On anywhere you can download an ebook. So if you want to go get a hard paperback copy, you can get it from Amazon. And you just type in my whole name, Erika Renee Land, and then you can get them in iBooks, BarnesandNoble.com. Anywhere you can download an ebook, you can get it.
Okay. So did you self-publish?
I did. I have self-published everything. This year, I have a book with a publisher we're trying to get released. So hopefully that'll be out soon. Okay. But I've pretty much done everything yourself on my own.
So when you self-publish, who did you go through?
Creative
Space?
Yeah, Create Space. But now they switched it to where it's just Amazon KDP. Okay. But that, so I use them, but then I also use another platform. Oh goodness, it's escaping me right now. Okay. Where they actually put it on Barnes and Noble and stuff like that, because Create Space pretty much just sends it to Amazon. Okay. And so, and I'll find that in a moment, or it'll come to me. Where I use the other platform to get it everywhere else. Okay. So, and they send it everywhere that you can download an ebook.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It'll come to me in a moment. So. Okay. Yeah.
Because I think that's the route everybody's going, though, because it's so hard to get with a publisher. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty much everybody's going the self-published way, but it's like trying to find out what's the best way to self-publish, because
I'm gonna pause the live right now so I can find it for you all.
Okay. So how did you start rapping?
That was just an evolution from the poetry.
Okay.
I listen to a lot of music. Like, I am a hip hop head, R&B head. Like, I love the 70s and 80s.
Okay.
Like,
So who's your favorite artist right now? Hip hop. Well, who's your favorite artist all time, and who's your favorite artist to listen to right now?
my favorite artist of all time is R&B, and that's Janet Jackson.
Oh,
Hands down. Can't nobody say anything bad about Janet Jackson. Don't do it.
That's my first crush.
Smash Words. That's what it's called. It came to me. I didn't even have to look it up. But yeah, Janet Jackson. And then right now I'm really digging J. Cole and Logic.
Okay.
And I like Kendrick Lamar too. Like, if I could work with them, that'd be awesome.
Okay. So what kind of style? We gonna play a couple of her songs tonight anyway, but just to get a feel of it. What your style? Was it more like Kendrick Lamar and them, or?
Probably a mix between Kendrick and J. Cole.
Okay.
So
it's
but
thought provoking.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, most definitely, and it's real. Like, if you hear it in a song, like, it's gonna be real. Like, I try to, like, not exaggerate it. It's real emotions in that moment. It happened. You ask me about every word, I can explain it. You know what I mean?
Really?
Like, because it's true to my life. Like honestly, I think I was listening to some mumble rappers, and I was like, it was on my nerves, and I was like, I don't know what to do with this. It's just really bothering me. But I don't like to just complain about things and not have an action. So I was like, well, if I'm sitting here complaining about it, maybe I can create something for people to hear. Like, don't just complain if you're not going to have an action to try to fix it. It's what I try to live by.
So how can people? Because I'm big on wellness, and so how can we use music as a form of wellness?
You can just find a way to express yourself with it. Like, you don't always have to do things to put it out for the public to do. A lot of people keep journals. You can write down some music lyrics in that journal. I just say, just try to get it out, whether it's physical movement, whether you're writing, singing, just do something to let the emotion out and don't keep it bottled up, because that's what leads to a lot of anger.
Right.
And the stress on your body can lead to the health issues. So it's best to just get it out of you.
Now, one thing I said to you prior to us starting the show is that I was very I'm proud of the fact that you acting now. You got your own YouTube page, channel. You're a rapper. You're a poet. You're an author. You got all these different things.
I have ADHD.
And it's like, you did not allow yourself to be put into a box.
Yeah.
And allow you or the outside world put limits of what you can and cannot do.
Right.
Can you speak to the audience about how you do that? Because I think a lot of times people have multiple skills, multiple talents, and people will just say you just need to focus on one.
My mind doesn't work that way.
Right.
And I don't think most people's minds do work that way. And the people who try to constrain themselves most of the time are miserable, or they're just going to do something daily that they really don't want to do, but they get stuck.
Right.
We evolve. We have different interests. My interests as a teenager are different now. I got my mind together now. I didn't have it together in my early 20s.
Right.
And so why not explore those different things? I wrote on Facebook a while back how I was like, I can't constrain myself because everyone else is trying to, and they always try to put you in a box. So why would I put myself in that box? Why not just be me and say, hey, I'm here, accept it. I'm not trying to do anything, negative and tear it down or tear other people down. So I just have to be myself.
You being yourself, and you using all your using your gifts in several different avenues.
Correct. Yes.
And
That's for multiple reasons.
Right, and for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
And I just think, a lot of times we just figure out, okay, I got multiple talents, but I'm gonna focus my main talent on this, and then we suppress everything else. And but then sometimes you might need that other outlet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when you might be like, okay, I'm focusing a lot of my energy right now on my album, but you still need that outlet of acting because you also getting ready to prepare for this big old, stage play.
It's a one-woman show.
Wow. So it's a one-woman show?
It is.
About?
It's called PTSD and Me. And it's just, like I said, it's all about letting yourself evolve. I evolved from just writing the poetry to writing the stage play to now I'm doing music. I don't know, it's just one of those things. They say if you want to be a millionaire, then you have to have different streams of income. Right. If I want to be healthy and whole, then I need to follow these different avenues that my mind is saying, hey, not everything is going to work out, but at least I tried and I won't have a regret about not doing it. So the play PTSD and Me, it's a play about my struggles with post-traumatic stress disorder and how I've come through and how I've used poetry to tell that story so other people can hear what I've been through, and then hopefully the community will have a conversation about it to help someone else, especially the Black community, because we don't talk about mental health issues.
Not at all.
And so I want to show a way of, I really went through the ringer and I found this way to come out of it, and now I'm on the other side. And so also, it's the play, once we get the full thing done, it's gonna be a 2-hour show where I'm starting with the one-woman show. We'll take an intermission, and you coming back to a full-blown concert.
So okay, so you're gonna do the one-woman show, and that's gonna be like your woman acting, about PTSD and Me. You're gonna go to the intermission, and then you're gonna be come
back to music, and continue to tell that story. Because it's not just about the negative part of being inside in that moment. It's about I've come out on the other side and I'm still trying to progress. I'm still dealing with issues. So the first album, L Squared, is me squaring up with the world to say, this is me, this is my life. If anybody has any questions, they can ask it. No one can come and say, oh, she did this to me back then. No, I'm going to go ahead and put it out there, stay in front of my story and say, these are the things that happen. And now that I'm kind of healed from the PTSD mostly, now I can really start trying to heal on all these other things that have happened to me in my life. You know what I mean? It's just trying to...
So why do you think it's so important to heal from these different issues?
Because hurt people hurt people.
Right.
And I've hurt a few people, not being able to deal with all of the trauma. And so it's I've rebuilt a lot of those relationships, and having to go through that and to say I'm sorry and to know, not making excuses, but to know how to be different now than where I was.
'Cause I think people don't really realize. I know my buddy who had it. He went to see a therapist too, and because he had a lot of issues with relationships too, whether it's people he dated or whether it was friendships, because the PTSD just it's real.
It is. It made me paranoid. I was angry because I was paranoid all the time. I was scared all the time. It's all of these different emotions were all just leading to me being angry. I was scared that I might die at any given moment. You know what I mean? I don't know, it's just everything was all bottled up and only coming out as anger because I didn't know how to express it any other way.
And then I think too, especially in our community, we only been taught to allow to express either joy or anger. You know, so we don't allow ourselves to showcase fear or sadness because we look at those things as weaknesses.
Yeah.
And so, which is a disservice to us, because then people like yourself, other people, we bottle everything up because we don't want to deal with those issues, because we don't want to be labeled as weak.
Or crazy.
Or crazy.
You know, so we try to, you know, hide everything, and that leads to the isolation, because you know something. I think I was stuck in a place of knowing that something was wrong and this was not me, but I didn't know how to be any different. And so that's where the writing and the therapy taught me how to be different and got me back in touch with who I really am. And to be like, you know, I had to let the guilt go.
Okay.
To be able to be like, okay, this is me. And so now I try to live my life as positively as possible.
So you do it as positive as possible, but you don't want no regrets. But I think you also, if you get to a certain stage of your growth, you don't no longer seek validation of other people. You know,
right.
You're gonna be your true authentic self, and either you, like you said, either you're gonna like me or you're not gonna like me.
Right.
You're not doing anything malicious to where make people not like you, but the person who you are, this is who I am.
Yeah.
And you know,
it is what it is.
It is what it is.
You know, like it just, we have to really just learn to be free and be ourselves. Like there are some things that I'm into that I'm not supposed to be into as a black woman. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's like I grew up on these things. I was introduced to it, introduced to different cultures. So I like those things. You know, I was talking to one of my friends the other day about I am an American. And so all of those different things that are American culture that I like, they just speak to who I am. I am an American. It's okay for me to like these things, whether, you know, it's country, you know, hip hop, whether it's like, you know, heavy metal or whatnot. Like it just, it's an American thing. I am American.
It's funny because if you say you did like heavy metal, we would look at you crazy because it's like, that's not what we listen to.
Right.
But then we put, you know, our culture and what we consider define black in a certain box. And so then therefore, you know, we look at people who are liking things that's not in our constraints as different.
Right. Exactly. And that's what I say. Other people put you in a box, so I don't want to put myself in a box. I like to experience other things. You don't know if you like it unless you experience it,
right.
You know? And it's like, I'm about to get into racism.
Go ahead. Go for it.
When it comes down to racism, what is it about? We don't take the time to really learn other people or know what's going on. We're just stuck listening to Joe said this, Joe said this. And so I'm believing it, but you never went and talked to Alice to see what's going on, you know? And so that's the kind of, I look at it the same way. Like you can't box somebody or not take the time to understand what it is or what they're saying. And you may not like everything. Sometimes people say some stuff, but at least take the time for yourself to find out.
Okay. I like it. So L Squared is your album.
Debut album.
Where can they find it at?
You can find it anywhere you can download an album. It's on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud. What's it, Deezer? Everywhere. Anywhere you can download it, just put in L Squared Lyrical Lunatic and it'll come up.
So did you produce the album yourself too, or you had?
Yeah, like I went on online. I found some beats that I like. I happened to run across a guy at a gas station who recorded albums. I wrote it all in like 2 months. I don't even think it was 2 months. Probably a month, because in August I decided to do it. October we were done with it, and then we put it out in December.
Wow.
So I wrote it. I just went to his house and recorded it. It was my first album. I have some improvements to make, and
Right.
but it's good. It's a good expression of myself.
Okay.
So
I like it. So let's talk about some of the songs on the album. Yeah. So one of the songs we're going to play at the 8 o'clock hour is Me Too. What's that about?
Glass floors of my past keep me on the beaten path. If you dig deep enough, you'll find some broken glass.
What?
That goes to everyone. Like, you walking around and it's all these things that have happened in your past, right? It is what it is. Like, you see reflection, you can reflect on what has happened, but you have to keep moving forward. And so as you reflect on those things, like glass will give you a reflection back, learn from them and move forward. Okay. And it's just those words, they all just came together because it just so happens that where I grew up in Norfolk, Virginia, the house that they built it on top of an old glass factory.
Really?
So if you actually dig in the backyard, you'll find broken pieces of glass underneath the soil.
That is crazy.
Yeah, and so it's just like everybody has those broken shards within them.
Right.
But it's like, what are you going to do? Are you going to let them keep you bound and keep cutting you, or are you going to try to progress past that and let some, grass grow up on top of it and bring something new? So it just, I don't know, those words, they just came together for me.
So what about 757?
757 takes you around my city. So I'm from Norfolk, Virginia, and 757 is the area code of what we call the 7 cities. And, it just takes you to all of the different places that I either grew up in or visited while I was growing up. And so, like, you talk about Granby, that's my actual high school, and my father lived in the Norview area. I lived with my mom in the Broad Park area. So in Ocean View had some cousins out there when we were doing things we probably shouldn't have been doing. Right. And then Titustown, it's just I was in a relationship with people that lived out there and a couple friends who lived out there. So it's just really just taking you around my city to the different parts, different things that I went through.
So so how many songs is it?
6. There are 5, and then my poem As the World Turns at the end, because it's poetry rap infused poetry. Okay. Poetry infused rap, however you like to see it.
So what does As the World Turn, what's that about?
As the World Turns is, I guess, my most famous poem. And then
really?
Yeah, this guy, he was like, hey, can I put this to some music? And it just turned out beautifully. Yeah, I wrote it a couple years ago. In that poem, I wrote it in response to the knockout game that was going on in Chicago. I don't know if you're familiar with that, where it was some kids were just going around punching people in the face and knocking them out as a game.
Really?
Yeah. And so I just sat down. I think I was at work one night, and I wrote it in about 10, 15 minutes, and that's what came out. I had just listened to a Wale song where he was saying, TV killed the radio and the internet slit the TV's throat. And it's so true with how technology and everything was progressing. And then so I built that whole poem around that line. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
So.
It's a lot packed into that poem. We had to do a whole section to break it down.
So when I was on your SoundCloud, I saw a poem. It's called Energy.
Energy is a song. Okay. Energy is just, I have ADHD, and sometimes I just want to jump around and let it out. Okay. And so it's just one of those songs where it's just to move your body.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have this YouTube page.
Yes.
And what's that called?
It's called Lands Across America, because land is my last name, and so we live in an RV. and we just travel the states and go see different things. I have made it a part of our, like, it's not a mission, but my mission on our trips is to always visit historical African American sites along the trip, and then to like highlight that.
Okay.
So we've been out in Texas and saw where a lot of the Buffalo Soldiers were buried, in the first African American school out there. We've out in Corpus Christi. We've been to the house of where the first black slave owned a house because her masters had gifted it to her.
Really?
I've read the Emancipation Proclamation at the house, and not where he read it, but I was down at the bottom of the house where they actually read the Emancipation Proclamation.
Right.
Yeah, so we just try to see different things. And
So how many states have y'all been through so far?
right now, just 3, because we just started, and we've been here in Atlanta for a while. But we went out to Louisiana, went to Grambling and New Orleans, and then so we came out here, and then when we leave here, we're gonna go to South Carolina.
Okay.
And then continue the travels from there.
Okay, South Carolina.
Yeah.
You know, great. Make sure you make a stop at Greenville.
Most definitely.
They got some good people out there. Yeah. So, what's your? I know you got the play. What's next in your eyesight of what you want to do?
For the next couple of months, I am just focusing on the play. We're about to start doing like 6-hour days, just nonstop practice, like a work day. Wow. Because we're going to try to tour it. Well, we are going to tour it, and we're trying to make it as big as possible as it can go. My ultimate goal is to play all the Fox theaters.
Okay.
You know, and maybe I'll make it to Broadway. But yeah, I want to do all the Fox theaters, and so we're gonna just try to build up to that.
So how would you do that? So what you gonna do? Like, make sure somebody tape the play and promote it on social media. Or
I need some help if anybody out there. No, we're gonna record a trailer this Saturday, which I have a show which I'll post on my Instagram. I am Lyrical Lunatic, so you all can come out and see the trailer. And then after we shoot the trailer, we're trying to set the play up at different spots, just like small theaters throughout the city and then all across the U.S. So I actually need someone who's good at helping me set up tours, because I'm a great artist, but I have my limitations
right.
when it comes to the admin stuff.
Right.
So and it's a lot to do. Like I have my theater director, who's amazing, who's helping me with this.
How'd you find this person?
She's a poet.
Really?
She's a poet, and she heard me do poetry one night and was like, wow, I'd really like to work with you. Here's my card. And I looked at her card, and I was like, oh, she's a theater director. And it just so happens that I have this play that I've been trying to, to do something with. I don't know, a lot of my connections happen that way.
Well, it's not by coincidence. That's just thing.
I don't think it is.
The universe placed people at the right place at the right time.
This is true.
So there's people that you need to get you to go to your next step, and so, and then you too is a blessing to them as well. So with all your energy, positive energy, stuff like that. So, are you excited? Is you get nervous about the whole situation?
I'm nervous because I'm like, I have these big goals and I don't know how I'm going to pull them off, but I'm excited to do it.
I read a post. If your dreams and your ambitions don't make you nervous, you're not dreaming big enough. So evidently your dream is big enough because it's making you nervous. So so you're doing the right thing. So I just think everything's going to happen how it's supposed to happen for you. Because it's going to be a great story. I think it's something that needs to be said about about PTSD, about mental health, especially right now. Mental health is big right now, and I just think the way you're doing it through art and music is going to help make it easier for us to create a conversation. We could use your art and your music to use it as a discussion tool to really discuss mental health, because I think I speak on it on the show from time to time, and I just think it makes people very uncomfortable to talk about. But if I think music and arts above lower their defense mechanism some, and make them feel a little bit more comfortable to talk about it because of the art you use to make them really think of, create dialogue. So, something like this is very much needed. So I thank you for that.
You're welcome. Thank you, and thank you for letting me, come and talk about it, because when I do the play, like when it's not coupled with the music, there's actually a discussion section at the end.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to where I do after the play, I'll take a moment, then I'll come back and do a question and answer, and you can ask me anything related to it. And I have a information packet that I actually give to the crowd for them to take with them. So it's not just me telling the story. They'll have some concrete information from the National Institute of Health. And so they can take it and read it on their own and maybe talk to other people in their community, maybe a family member. My main goal is to open up a dialogue for people who normally wouldn't have it.
Okay.
So
that is cool. So in a couple of minutes we're gonna play one of your first songs.
Yeah. It's the most intimate song on the album.
Right. And it's like I said, when I went to your SoundCloud, I said that one. I said I posted on my page that I want this one first.
Yeah.
And so because it just grabbed to me, and so but it was So what's all the name of the songs? Me Too, 757. What's the other songs you have?
One is called Be Free.
Yeah.
And then we have the poem As the World Turns. And then, oh goodness, what's the first track?
Right.
I can't remember right now. See, this is what happens when you do too much. No, I do a lot. Oh, geez, it's not coming to me.
So what does
right
Be
now.
Free, what's Be Free about?
Be free and learn to just be. It's a state of mind to keep you free.
Okay.
So you have to just learn to be yourself, and don't let who you are be dictated by anyone else. And that's what's going to keep your mind free to be able to do the things that you want to do.
Okay.
In order for you to be your best self. So, yeah, it's just live free and learn to just be. That's what I really want everyone to just do. I just want them to just really be themselves.
So why is that so important to you?
It's called living. We have living, 757, live it up, be free as the world turns. It's important because I felt constrained for so long of not being able to be myself or do the things that I really wanted to do or express my interests because I was told I wasn't supposed to, or you get picked on and bullied because you like certain things, and then it's so, well, I'll just stuff this down or I'll hide it so no one knows that I like these things, and it's exhausting. It is so exhausting and debilitating living that way. And then so I'm just getting to the point where I like these things.
So living, what's that about?
Living is just the struggle of, trying to be one way and trying to stay on a healthy path. Like God is very big for me in my life, but there's just so many things and entities in the world that try to pull you away.
Right.
And there were times where I was on the brink of suicide, and it's like I don't want to be here anymore. but God instilled writing in me. And it's told me numerous times that I need to go share this with the world. And
So, okay. So this a lot of this journey was placed on you by
my God.
By God. So
Most
was it
definitely.
easy for you to receive it and be obedient to what He's placed on your spirit and go with it, or did you fight it for a minute?
I fought it for a minute, and I would say sometimes I still do. And it comes down to like self-esteem and stuff. It's like, am I able to really do this and pull this off?
Am I good enough to really do something
Am
like
I
this?
good enough?
Yeah.
Are people really going to receive this like the way that, in an empowering way, you know? But it's just numerous. I mean, they're just like concrete answers that I've been given, and it's still like, oh, I don't know if I should do it. I don't know if I should do it.
Yep.
So I'm to the point now where it's like, well, don't ignore it anymore. I don't know how many times I can be told.
Right. Exactly.
Before I'm not told anymore.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
yeah.
So what I appreciate is the true, authentic self that you're saying, because most people would not say that they battle with maybe like a self-esteem issue, the fact that I have these gifts, God put this in my spirit to do this, but I'm not sure I'm good enough.
I'm good enough, yeah.
And I think why I feel that is so important till we stress that and acknowledge that is because I think a lot of times that's the issue with a lot of us. A lot of us are placed with stuff on our spirit for us to do, but either we don't think we're good enough, we don't think that that it's going to, or the other fear of that it's going to fail. And if it failed, then how are we going to look?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so did that play a part too?
Yeah, but I think I've gotten past the point of saying, well, I'm afraid I'm going to fail at this. It's more just I suffer a day to day of thinking I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. Like I don't have the right look to do this. I'm too goofy. People aren't going to take me serious. I don't know. So I'm working on it, and I'm trying to make sure I educate myself, in this, everything I'm trying to do as much as I can. But I just do things on a whim sometimes. It's like I'm not afraid to go do it. It's the getting through it in the after part,
right,
of like, oh no. And I'll be honest with you, okay? I have a problem promoting myself. And it comes to self-esteem, because like a lot of people like what I write and stuff like that, but I don't think that I am the best writer. My grammar sucks. And so it's like I'll do it, but then I'm like afraid to promote it afterwards. So, and I think it comes down to self-esteem of me telling myself, oh, you're not the greatest writer. You don't want anyone to read this. Right. Right. So even though people like it, and they'll like the concept, and they're like, wow, your thought process is really good, I'll get stuck on my grammar sucks. I can't sell that to anyone. So, but I keep going.
Baby, you guys change the mindset, because evidently you're very gifted, regardless of the fact of the grammar. You're very gifted, and so that limited thought of the self-defeated thought is going to prevent you letting the world see and know the greatness that you have. You know.
Yeah,
You know,
that's a true statement.
because I think a lot of times, the stuff that you're concerned about, the people who God wants you to reach is not gonna be concerned about what you're talking about.
That makes sense.
They're not gonna, what you're.
That's that aha moment I was talking about.
So
Oh,
I'm
you're
gonna let you,
right.
I'm gonna let you ponder on that, but want you to introduce the first song, which is "Me Too."
Yes. So this is an honest look at my life, and I'm telling all my secrets. I hope you enjoy Me Too. Glass floors of my past keep me on a beaten path. If you dig deep enough, you'll find some broken glass. That's the thing that scares me about my past. These ain't lies, and these lines I'm no longer blind. Afraid to share my truth, everything a ruse. I've been bruised and abused, some days I'm blue. I've been bruised and abused, some days I'm blue. Molested since 5 by a bunch of different guys. I've cheated on everybody except my wife. Lost my mind in the war, it was hard to find. Left my friends in the wind, it's no surprise. Touched the help of a guy who gave us life. I've been bruised and abused, some days I'm blue. I've been bruised and abused, some days I'm blue. Now I'm on this track exposing why. An offer of forgiveness before I die. An offer of forgiveness before I die. If you dig deep enough beneath the soil, you'll find broken pieces in all our lives. Symbolically it's poetic, but I ain't lying. Let the heartache and pain keep you on your grind. Live the truth because lies keep you blue. It don't matter what they put you through. Look me deep in my eyes and you know I'm proof. I've traveled through darkness to inspire you. Yeah. Give it up one time, yo. Give it up one time, yo. Live it up, yo. Live it up. Live it up, yo. Live it up. Live it up, yo. Live it up. Yes.
Sounds good. So, while the music was playing, I was able to go on my Facebook Live, and I have a woman by the name of Robin Shockley.
Hi.
And she is based out of Greenville, South Carolina, and she has a show that she does here in Atlanta every other Monday, but she also does like red carpet correspondence. Okay. So she said, if you need a red carpet correspondent when you do your play, to holler at her because she'd be more than willing to do it.
Yes, we can connect.
So I will give you her information.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So the love is there. So we have Mr. Bars Brown watching.
Hi, Bars.
What's going on, Bars? How did you guys meet up?
I did an open mic. It was the second time I had ever performed music live. I went to some random venue, just Googled it and went. And he was there, and he gave me some good feedback on my performances and how to be a little bit better. Mm-hmm. And we connected from there. Yeah. So
that's cool. So Robin said thank you. So she will be looking forward to connecting with you. And Mara said, "What up, though?" So you say you gonna work your regular job for Coca-Cola,
hey, you can't be putting that out there.
Oh, my bad.
Everybody's gonna be like, "Wait a minute, where?" No.
But you're gonna be doing 6 hours of also.
Yeah, just for like a month and a half.
Okay.
And then I'm done with working for corporate America for good.
Okay.
And it's just gonna be all me being an artist. So, yeah. Right now, I'm doing like 3 hours. I can probably 3.5 hours a week. Like I go with my acting coach, and then she'll tell me some things to do. But then we're getting my rehearsal space set up right now.
Okay.
So we're building that out, and then it's just all day, 6 to 8 hours.
So for the people who are maybe watching, who are looking to become an actor or actress, how'd you find your acting coach?
Well, she's a theater coach.
Okay.
But we're working on my overall acting. Yeah, it was kind of random. So I don't mind sending emails. Like I just send if I want to do something, I'll just send an email. Sometimes I get replies, and I got to reply back to be on a TV show called Going RV, and with the RV. And so we went out to Texas and did that, and then the producer really liked me, and so she put me in a commercial for Delta. So
wow,
yeah. So it was for the international clients. So people, I think it was for the British audience.
Okay.
So yeah, but that was pretty fun.
So the show about the RV was
it was called Going RV.
On what network?
Let me see. It came on the Travel Channel, and there was another network. I'll have to look it up. Great American Country.
Okay.
Is what it was.
Okay.
So those two, and that aired last year. So
that's cool.
Yeah. But
so do you want to do more acting once the play is over with?
I've been playing with that. I have been toying with it, but quite honestly, I'm more into writing TV shows.
Okay.
Right, more so than I think acting on screen.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So
but who knows? Maybe I give myself a steam up. We'll see where that goes.
So my question to you is, for your TV shows, is it gonna be like comedy because you seem like you're very comical, or will it be?
Man, a little bit of both. I've just played with the idea, haven't written anything on paper about a comedy. Like I'm really into people saying what's in their head for real. So like someone will walk in a room and you're like. So I work in the pharmacy, and so there's a lot. Like you never see a TV show about a pharmacy.
No,
because it's a boring job. But then it's like some of the situations we deal with, we'd be like, "Can you believe this is happening right now?" So I might write it. So just a 30-minute show of like what goes on in the pharmacy and what's really going on in the workers' heads. It's like. I don't really care about your problems right now. I really want you to leave so I can go back to doing what I was doing. But I gotta stand here and smile. So
wow,
yeah,
that's crazy. So acting. Are you gonna do another book anytime soon?
The book I'm floating right now is called My ADHD Mind.
Okay.
And it's my own compilation of everything, of commentary, poetry, stories. So that hopefully will be out soon. And then I'm going to try to focus on the play and music. And then the end of next year is when I'm going to pick up the fiction, because the fiction is a series and people have been waiting for a while. Okay. So I have to write my next fiction novel.
So
starting the end of next year.
So when you go, once you finish the play and y'all get in your RV and y'all go to South Carolina, is your intent is to do the play in South Carolina as well?
Yes.
And also maybe do a show, performing, acting.
So it'll be a music show, a poetry show, and a play, whichever's happening. Like, and I think God's building me for it now. Like there have been nights where I was at a poetry open mic and had to leave there and go do rap in the same night. Right. So it'll just be whatever venue, whoever wants to book me to come out. I have some poetry stuff set up out there, and we're looking for the music and somewhere to do the play. The play, we have to be more strategic than the poetry and the music. So we're really trying to like nail that schedule. Okay. And then eventually, I can't give y'all the title of the show. I'm not going to do it bars. But it's going to be a show, like I said, where I'm doing the stage play, the music, and the poetry all in one, 2 hours. So, yeah.
So, Robin said that she wants to learn acting. Where would you like, what would you say? You recommend that she look for like a talent or a acting
Just
coach?
I would probably say start with improv groups. Like just go around and see how they do that, and then maybe go to an acting school if you can afford it, and build from there. But just go to the improvs, see what's going on at those shows, how they work, because it takes a lot of work. Even like with being in theater, like my theater coach, she is like, you might want to try this again. Or it's like, learning the facial expressions and where to put the emphasis. It takes a lot of work. I'm not going to say it's not easy. I have
Right.
learned that. A lot of things come easy for me. This I'm really having to work on.
Really?
So, yeah.
So for one of the listeners want to know, where can they find you at to do your poetry?
Saturday.
Here in Atlanta.
Yeah. So Saturday, just, follow me on Instagram. Like I said, Saturday I have a show. That one's more tailored towards the poems I'm going to do, because we're shooting the trailer.
And where's that gonna be at?
Hold on, let me get that for you. Go ahead and post the flyer. So, we'll do that, and then it's kind of random, but I'm going to be putting my schedule actually on my website of the different places I'm going to. But on Saturday, it is going to be at 1190 West Druid Hills Drive. And so,
Okay.
yeah. So I have the address, and I'll repost the flyer. And that'll be at 7 p.m.
Okay.
on Saturday.
Cool. Because I think poetry is a great way to release your thoughts, your emotions, all that kind of stuff. And, I'm not a poet, but I do enjoy poetry. So, that'd be something I might actually want to come out and check you out on. So,
Yeah. And I just go throughout the city. And that's the thing is, there's so many going on in the city, and they overlap that I'm having to start to like pick them and rotate through.
Right.
So, because it'll be like 3 that happen on a Tuesday.
Right.
I can't be in all 3, so I have to be like this week, this one, this week. And so, but I'm going to actually post that schedule on my website, Erika, that's ERIKAR land.com. And then I'll just post them as they come up on Instagram.
Okay.
So
That's cool.
yeah, it's a lot of poetry going on in Atlanta. You just go check it out.
So where can we find you doing some of your songs from your album? Where can we find you at doing that?
Ooh, we got some big things coming up in June.
Here?
So
So it'll be in Atlanta?
it will be in Atlanta. We're not ready for the announcement yet.
Okay.
But in June, yeah, it's gonna be pretty big. There's like, I'll do like a couple clubs. Like, we're still trying to like test out the performance and whatnot. Like get me more performance ready for the rap, because that's like way more high energy than poetry.
Right.
So, but again, I'll post those on Instagram. But in June, it'll be a really big show.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, so make sure you reach out to me so I can post it, and then if it's I can announce it on the show, so people who might come check you out, they'll know where to find you and all that kind of good stuff. So
Sounds good.
man, so before we get ready to do some ending stuff, because I want them to hear another song from you, but what's your long-term goal with this whole art thing? 'Cause I know you say you're gonna be like the new version, the female version of Childish Gambino.
Yes, ready here. My overall life goals are to win an NAACP award.
Okay. I ain't mad at you for it. You gotta put it out there. Put it out there.
And a Nobel Peace Prize. No, I'm serious. Yeah, no, I really it would be really cool to get an EGOT. Like, the Emmy, the Grammy, Oscar, Tony.
Like
Yes.
like John Legend.
Yeah. Yeah. Him and Whoopi.
Yeah.
I don't see why not. You know what I mean?
That's the goal you're supposed to strive for.
But I'm really trying to go for I guess first up NAACP award.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
Big dreams.
So
Big dreams.
your NAACP award, would it be in hip hop or would it be in acting?
Hopefully for poetry. I would like to win one, and I want to win it. I want to win an NAACP award and the Pulitzer Prize for poetry.
Okay.
So
that's big. You're trying to be like Kendrick Lamar.
I know. Hey, but he opened doors because actually, like I said, we're trying to get everything set up with this stage play. Mm-hmm. I've already recorded the poetry album that accompanies the stage play, and we're going to submit that for a Grammy. So we're just trying to get everything like worked out and make sure it's all good to go. So it might happen sooner than I think. You never know.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's going to be it's a spoken word album.
Okay.
We're submitting it for a Grammy. Yeah.
That's cool.
So,
that is, hey, you know what? If you get it, even if you get the nomination, I'm like, she was on my show first.
Yeah, and I'll come back. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying?
You have to.
Nowadays we live in a world where people don't want to take a chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like you already got to be at the top. You know what I mean? But
I don't think nobody really wants to do the grind and, start from the low and work their way up to it. It's like everybody wants to be at the top,
Right.
And they don't realize that, even Beyonce wasn't at the top from day one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
She been doing this since she was what, 5?
Right.
Like
and we think as soon as we come out, we supposed to be big, Like we did an event, it wasn't like, a theater, but we had enough people. Mm-hmm. And so my mindset is, this is how you start. Mm-hmm. And as you keep doing it, you build up and you build up and get bigger and bigger and bigger and better and better and better. But you can't, if you start off at full capacity, then it really don't give you nothing to strive for.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But you do want to have big dreams. And one thing I do say about you got some big dreams. But it gives you something to strive for, though.
Yeah, God gave me the talent to do it and has told me to do it. I just need to get out of my head, and stop thinking about all of the negative things that people could say or how they may feel, And it's really about, like this, it's about my body of work that will be here when I am not. I want it to be impactful and uplifting for people far into the future. I really do. Mm-hmm. Because who knows, with the way things are going right now, it seems like we're regressing. American society is regressing, but hopefully I'll be able to uplift someone and leave something positive, for people who didn't think that they could.
Yeah, I think, I just think we all should find our lane and do what we need to do to be that inspiration. I was talking to my cousin this day, and I just think, if we start off being an inspiration to our family first and getting our family structure in order first, and then from there work on building our community structure. Yeah. And then keep going, then elevate more and more and more. So, because, the greatness that we all have is in us, but we got to put the work in, and we got to put the work in not just physically, but mentally as well. Mm-hmm. So that's why going to a therapist to deal with PTSD, deal with the traumas that we had that may started with kids, childhood, going to a life coach if you need to help you change the mindset to create the best version of yourselves. I think, we as a culture, a lot of times we have such limited beliefs. Yeah. And we allowed it to stem from, slavery and all that kind of stuff. But, at this point in the game now, we got to make the conscious choice to do better and be better. And so
Exactly.
in order to do that, we got to change our mindset.
Exactly.
And so it's just an inspiration to me to see someone like you who went through what she went through, and now it's like, okay, I'm going full floors, and my gift of acting, well, I'll just say arts,
Yeah.
and doing all these different things with no, you have some fear, but you still being fearless because you're still pursuing it.
Right. Exactly. You that's all you can do is just try.
Yeah.
And that's all I do every day. I just try. And then I think about how it's going to
But
impact someone
and
else.
really, I don't even say just try, just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a firm believer that trying was, you could try, but trying will set you up for failure because you could. It's a passive. It's a passive form of expression. You could say I tried, but did you really try?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you're going, I say so you're not trying to act. You're not trying to do a one woman show. You're not trying to be a rapper. You are doing it.
Yeah.
So it's a difference.
Yeah.
So
and that's one of the things I have to grow myself into thinking.
yeah, you're not trying anything. You're doing it.
Yeah.
So just and so what I like is that you got these big goals and dreams, and you should be like, so next time you should be like, my goal is I'm going to be a NAACP Image Award winner for spoken word. I'm going to be a Grammy winner for spoken word.
Yeah.
I'm going to get an Emmy.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a Tony. You're going to speak that because it's yours. You just got to claim it.
Yeah.
And trying is not going to do it.
Right. Exactly.
So,
When
what what else do you want the people to know?
It really doesn't matter where you came from.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very true statement. It's about how you apply yourself and how you transform yourself from where you've come from. How you take those things and use them to propel you forward.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's all about. Like, I didn't grow up in the worst of situations, and it wasn't the best of situations.
Right.
And I have been through a lot. If you name it, I have probably been through it. But I found a way to pull myself together and push forward. Mm-hmm. And so it's all about what you want to do with yourself.
I agree. And what I would say too is it's about who you surround yourself with as well. Because a lot of times unlike you, some people us might have might to see a certain thing of what we could do for ourselves, and then God brings or the universe brings people to you and say, well, you could do this. You never thought about it. So then you got these people that's pushing you to, go beyond what the little things you think you need to be doing. You know what I'm saying? So like for myself, I was reached out, somebody called me and they was like, you're a life coach, you've been doing these, speaking engagements, you've been empowering Black men, got your radio show, you coach people. Have you ever thought about training people to become a life coach? And I said no. And they said, why don't you? Because I got 3 Black men who wants to become life coaches. So why would I send them to anybody else but a Black man who's doing that work? Mm-hmm. So it was like, wow. You just never No, that's like, okay, you never thought about that. So now I got this big old project where I got to be like, okay, come up with a program to teach these men how to be life coaches. But also I'm coaching them too at first, then train them, and then all the other kind of stuff, and then make sure the curriculum I create, I can make it accredited through the ICP. So if I'm gonna do it, I want to make sure I can do it right. So then, when I put in my information, that I'm accredited. I could be accredited to where you could get coaching from me. I'm like, okay, this is a big move, but that made me nervous. It made me excited.
Yeah.
But it also made me nervous because now this is a big opportunity that I never saw. So it's like, so then talking to you, I'm like, okay, I got this, I got this going on. I'm doing something here. I'm doing something major here in Atlanta. Next year I'm working on going out to certain cities, in the Midwest and doing some spin classes to get back out there. I'm like, I got a lot going on, but then when I listen to you talk, I'm like, okay, I could do more. So I want to thank you for even though you didn't even know you was motivating me.
No. No. That's amazing though. Can I expand on something just for the community that you said? You said that you were trying to make sure that it is accredited. That's something that we should do, like in the Black community. Like, I don't know if a lot of people think about it, like with the things that they create, make sure that your work is good. Make sure that it's copyrighted. Make sure that your music is good and set up with all of your publishing. That's like one thing, like I try to do, like out of the gate, I make sure that it's set up, and I'll find a way to do it. Like when I first started, I started paying people a lot of money, but then I started Googling stuff and I'm like, it really only costs $55 to get a copyright on something. It really doesn't cost that much to get barcodes and stuff like that. But just try to make sure that all of your stuff is set up in a way to where you can, like where you own your stuff and you can make money off of it in the future.
Right.
So
Cool.
I'm glad that you're trying to make sure that your course is going to be accredited.
I have a good person behind me that's like, okay, this is what you're going to do. Did you want it to be accredited? I said yes, because I want to make sure that I want to say I coach these guys and they certified, I can certify them, and nobody want to look at them as being true to what it is. And so, which it wouldn't make a difference. It wouldn't bother a lot of people anyway, but for me, so
just so they can expand it, and then they might become teachers also. So.
Exactly. So it's just pretty cool. It's just I just think a lot of times, it's just cool just to see how people push themselves to be the best they can, and it's like you have to push yourself to where it's like there's no limits. There is no limits, and that's just really refreshing to me, because a lot of us, even myself, sometimes we put limits on ourselves. And so once again, how do you get past putting the limits, saying what you can't do, or I shouldn't do, or they won't do?
I don't even know. Like I said, I just lived so restrained for so long, and it's like, I've had admiration for people who win the Nobel Peace Prize, and I look at the NAACP awards, and it goes through my head, oh, I would like to win one of those one day. But I don't want it to just be a thought. I got to the point where I was like, I don't want it to just be a thought. I'm going to live my life better from now on. I'm going to live my life to do things to try to get those accolades that I want. It's like just moving from a place of just being complacent and blase about it to actually pushing myself in life to get those things. It's just getting out of my head saying, you said you want it, make it real.
Okay. Where can they find you at? Social media
Just
wise.
Google me. I'm trying to get my Google hits up. So it's Erika with a K, Renee Land. You can find me on Instagram at I am Lyrical Lunatic. I have 2 websites, lyricallunatic.com and then ericarland.com. And on
What's the difference between the two? Lyrical Lunatic is the rapper,
yes,
and
yes.
then Erika Land is
The poet,
Okay.
and the motivational speaker, and all of like my books and stuff
Okay.
are there. So they've been telling me I need to just merge everything
wow.
into one.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to. I gotta scale it back. Like sometimes I just run with it. And then on Facebook, just put in Erika Renee Land.
Okay.
So, yeah, and you can listen. I'm the type of person, you can send me an email, send me a message. I try to get back to you. It might not be that same day. I usually have like a 2 to 3 day turnaround.
Okay.
But I will get back to you. So,
That's true. You wasn't that bad when I responded back to you. So
Yeah.
you said you came back pretty quick. So, but before we play one more song, I want you to speak to the audience, wherever it's on your spirit. It could be about your music, it could be about whatever. But it's your chance to speak to the audience about whatever you want to speak to them about.
tomorrow when you wake up, decide the life that you want to have and take steps to live your life that way. That's all I can say. Like, you are your own owner. And so if you want something, if you want to have a different life than you have today, tomorrow, get it done. Think about it tonight as you go to sleep. What do I want out of life? What do I want to achieve? And when you wake up tomorrow, set it in motion. One step at a time. That is it. One step at a time. Like, if you want to get more organized, you have, clean up your email box.
Right.
If you want to become an athlete, add 10 extra steps to your day. Just do what you want to do to get to a happy place.
All right. So for me, I've been saying this, I think, for the past couple of days because, I think everybody's on journeys. That's in my circle, whether it's people I went to college with, people I went to high school with, or just people I just know. Everybody's on their own journey, and in that journey, a lot of times you grow, you elevate, and with that growth and elevation comes fear, because as you grow and change and elevate, you're not longer the same person that you used to be.
Right.
And a lot of times that the friends that you created back in the day, or even the friends you created now, may have been based off who you were,
yeah.
and not who you are. And that whole fear of, will they like this new version of me?
Right.
Instead of just saying, this is me. And if that person or that persons don't like the new version of you, it's okay. You can still love them, but you just know that maybe the purpose of that part of that relationship has ended, because you have outgrown each other, and you have to be okay with it. I think too, as you go through the journey and you learn your purpose. Your purpose is just that, is your purpose. So whatever you're doing is for you. I may not understand it. I may not agree with it, but it's not for me to understand or to agree with, because it's for you. What I do, what I'm doing, is for me. And I can't be concerned about if everybody who knows me agrees with me, or understand why I'm doing what I'm doing, because it's not for them to understand. And I just think we just need to, be 100% unapologetic of who we are, and what our purpose is, and go and move steadfast towards that purpose. And know that as we move along in the purpose, there's going to be people who are going to fall off, but the universe is going to bring more people on that's going to be more aligned with who you are and where you're going at this present moment. So, like I said, for Bars to reach out to me about you, it wasn't a coincidence. It wasn't, he knew that what you bring into the table is going to be interesting to me, and that I would want to share you to the world because you need to be shared to the world.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And so that just shows the alignment of where you are at this moment. So we might not see each other again, maybe until you get big, but we are in alignment. You know what I'm saying? So it just not. It wasn't a coincidence. This is what it was, what it is, and so I just feel like everybody just walk their journey. Be unapologetic, take a day at a time, and know that what's for you is going to be for you, and nothing or no one can take it from you unless you give them the power to do so. So with that being said, I want you to introduce your song 757. Tell us what it is, what it's about, and then we're going to let that take us out to the end of the show.
All right. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem.
757 is the area code to the 7 cities in Norfolk, Virginia. Well, the surrounding area. And 757, I'm talking about my specific city, Norfolk, and different areas of that city that I grew up in and that impacted my life to make me the person that I am today. So right. I hope you enjoy it. 757.
Peace out.
People always trying to take your joy out here. Fuck them. You know who you are. I come from the bottom. I come from the bottom, yeah. I come from the bottom. I come from the bottom, yeah. I come from the bottom of the 757, yeah. I come from the bottom of the 757, yeah. I'm trying to find my worth in this thing called life. They try to tear me down. I'm reaching for the sky. I come from the bottom of the 757, yeah. I come from the bottom of the 757, yeah. I'm about to take you through my struggles as a youth. I'm about to take you through my struggles as a youth. Along my struggles as a youth on the streets of Norfolk, Virginia, I learned that life ain't always what you thought it was gonna be. See, I grew up on the cusp of a middle-class life, next to the railroad tracks, where addicts reminded me that life ain't always peaches and cream, and a dream is just a step away from you being a fiend, depending on what you decide to inject into your bloodstream. See, life is what you make it, based on what you decide to take in. And I've learned a lot along the way by taking it all in what is known as Old Ocean View. I learned that the fast life wasn't my speed as I creeped through abandoned houses filled with weed heads and other kind of fiends. In Titus Town, I learned that the grass ain't always greener on the other side by a bunch of broken girls who left me with all their lies. Norview taught me to be mentally tough. In Barrard Park, you taught me to be physically tough. Granby, you taught me that I could be that comet in the sky and to always try to fly high. And damn it, sometimes I want to get high, but then again, it's all about what you decide to inject into your bloodstream. And so, as I try to find my worth in this thing called life, I'll always remember that I come from the bottom. And though they tried to tear me down, I keep reaching for the sky. And you know why? And you know why? And you know why? Cause I come from the bottom of the 757, yeah. I come from the bottom of the 757, yeah. I'm trying to find my worth in this thing called life. They try to tear me down. I'm reaching for the sky. I come from the bottom of the 757, yeah. Norfolk, Virginia, I've been cold without you, baby. And if it's one thing you've taught me, it's that if they didn't give it to you, they can't take it from you.